Hi guys, and welcome back to Daniel Does DFW Theater. My name is Daniel, and this is where we talk about everything theater. Plus, really. Well, no, it's only theater. Probably. And like every single week, I have an amazing guest to join me that I'm super excited about. You know and you love them so much. If you don't know them, you need to know them. Today, I have the wonderful, the beautiful, the marvelous, the fabulous Hope Cox!
Hi.
Thanks for joining me, Hope.
Thank you for having me. This is fabulous.
Just like you.
Her.
So, Hope, your pronouns are?
She, her.
She, her, thank you. Now, I know that we've worked on a couple shows together now, or maybe two shows together through Theater Arlington, but you are a pretty sought after designer here. Yeah, don't be ashamed of it. Yeah, you are. Yeah, pretty sought after designer here in the area that everyone wants to work with, right? I know that you've worked at, Theater Arlington, Jubilee. You've done some high school shows as well.
Over at Green Hill School in Addison.
And then any other regional theaters or anything that, DTC, right?
DTC. I have my first full design show coming up this summer, but I've assisted twice, last fall and then January, and then I also do stuff over at Water Tower.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you did Water Tower as well.
I like it there. It's very close to my house.
Before we really get into it, I do want to ask you a very, very tough question. Somebody wrote in on our questions for Hot Seat Questions, and I'm going to read it verbatim. Why so many ugly wigs in DFW?
Because none of us know how to do wigs.
Literally, okay, can I tell you, before we get into it, I wanted to ask you that too, and I was like, I need to ask her before we get into, you actually, it made me laugh though that somebody would write in, why so many ugly, why? Why is that the question you send in?
You're not wrong though, because that's like a whole different art form and a whole different practice from costume design. Yeah, we'll get into a little bit of it and we'll learn it throughout, but there are wig designers and people
Michael B. Moore,
people who go to school for it. Logan Coley Broker,
yeah, Logan.
Fabulous. Nick Lynch over at DTC. And there's another one. I don't know that he's ready for people to know that he's a wig designer yet, but he just did Steel Magnolias. So if you look in the playbill, you'll see who it is, but he's fabulous.
Ooh, love it. Yeah. And then I know that Isaiah has even done some.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Isaiah has put together some wigs as well, or designed them as well. But yeah, okay, so I had to put that there. So I was like, why ugly wigs? I'm just
listen.
Dang.
Please, theaters, when you're hiring a costume designer, also hire a wig designer. Please. That'd be great.
Makes sense.
There's so many talented ones.
Because, I was worried about the wigs too. I'm glad they got snatched real quick.
Yeah.
Looked like Latrice Royale just ripping that wig right off of Derek Barry.
Yeah.
But
let's also go into the drag community and bring some of them in to do wigs because they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Maybe we should tap into that. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, so let's back to hope. Let's have some hope in our life. How long, or let's backtrack even more. How old are you? Are you comfortable saying hope?
I'm 31.
The smile behind it.
I earned those years.
Well, because you still look like you were 22. Oh, you fully admit that. Black
don't crack. So, here we are.
And brown don't frown.
Her.
We are sad people. No, you still, honestly, I think the first time I met you, I was like, oh, she's so young. And then we were pretty much the same age. We are the same, I'm younger.
Yes.
So, you are so young. Did you go to school for design? What did you do?
So I originally started with fashion design.
Okay. What was your inspiration for fashion design? Did you see
I was 5 years old. I've been like sewing and designing because my mom, she was a seamstress growing up, but like I would make outfits for my Barbies. My aunt, she used to collect China dolls, so I would send her like full renderings of what I wanted the outfit to be, and then she would like send it back. So I was like full down for fashion design. And then I went to the wrong school for fashion design. It was a lot more commercial, and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Because it's like I've been working my whole life to be a fashion designer, and it just wasn't enough. I needed something with a little bit more zhuzh and more drama, and I found my way to theater.
Now, have you seen like those TikToks of that one lady who does she makes the dresses that like her grandmother? Mm-hmm. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
like,
and I did stuff like that growing up. Like I made my own outfits. I remember my 5th grade graduation dress. It was like satin, baby blue with little bows on it, and I had a little shawl to go with it.
I'm actually wearing that later. She brought it for us today.
Surprise!
Yeah, and I fit into it. Mm-hmm. Well, this one arm does.
Yeah.
The applique, it's on top of me. Yeah. No, I think that's so. Do you still have some of those drawings or some of those like?
I don't think I do. I think my mom does. Probably does. She also will randomly take like current things that I have and steal notebooks. So I'll be like, "Where's that sketchbook that I was like in the middle of a show?" And she's like, "Oh, hold on," and then she'll give it back.
I love that so
yeah.
much. That's so cute, though.
Yeah. She's real supportive.
Well, and I'm sure as her being a seamstress as well, right? Like that was something that did she ever want to get into?
She actually did interior design. Yeah, my family's very creative.
We need to talk about a shirt that I saw the other day that looked like it was a couch, but it was a shirt. Was
it like the 90s floral?
Yeah.
I feel like I know what you're talking about.
But it was $155. And I was like, Hope can make this. I hope so.
How many Hope puns we got in there?
There's no hope in me stopping. So anyway, so you found a theater to take a chance on you, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me, are you allowed to say which theater? You said it was like far away, or?
Oh no, it was Louisville Community Theater.
Oh.
So I was.
Thank you, Louisville, for producing and making this.
Honestly, I learned so much at Louisville because I was and still am living in Louisville, and so I randomly typed in Louisville and theater and just like in Google. First thing that popped up, clicked on it, sent them an email being like, "Hey, I know how to sew and design. I'd love to learn more about theater," because I'd never done anything theater related before that. And so they sent me an email like right away because they were 2 weeks out from La Cage aux Folles.
Oh, girl.
And like the fabric had just come in and there were so many custom things that they were making. So they were like, yeah, that'd be great. So I went in like the next day. They handed me a bag of things that needed to be sewn. I stayed up for like 2 days straight, came back, gave them the bag, and I was like, what's next? And so I just kind of kept going. And like with that show, and like so many shows after that, like my first 3 or 4 shows, I was working with some like DFW heavy hitters, like Lon Barrera, Doug Fowler, like Cameron Potts. All of them were on those like first couple of shows. And I didn't know that they were big DFW names. I was just like, oh, they're so nice. And like, they're so cool. And so like through word of mouth, more theaters started taking a chance on me.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's a hard show, though, I would think, to start into. Mm-hmm. Like, you couldn't pick something easy.
I didn't know. My dad knew the show more than I did. Because he speaks French. We love him.
I love that so much. No, and then from there, you just continued to make contacts, and they found out how amazing you were.
Yeah, and people just kept being like, oh, we need somebody. And I was like, yes. I said yes to anything and everything, because I was like, this is what I'm doing. And I'm gonna make it just by continuing to work.
Yeah, I imagine there were so many different colors in that La Cage aux Folles, right? Would you say that you could identify colors?
Yes. We'll see how well, but yes.
Well, we're gonna take a small break because we're gonna play a game and see how well you are at identifying colors after La Cage, because I'm sure you had to. I'm sure it was like a gay green.
Obviously.
Yeah. Cross-dresser cream.
You're so good at this. Are
I'm-
you a designer?
I am actually.
Wow. You're gonna take on my next show?
No, not at all. But we're gonna take a break. We're gonna play this game. We'll see you. All right. Hope we're gonna play a little game together.
Okay.
Because like I said, I wanted to see how great you are at defining colors, right? So I've got some colors here for you to talk about. I'm gonna mix them up here, just a little bit. See what we can do, and I want you to identify the color.
Okay.
And see if you can. So for our audience members,
It looks like an emerald green.
emerald green. Let's see how she does, y'all.
The Wizard of Oz. Mermaid sea. Why? Why?
Why is that mermaid sea?
I don't know. Because I feel like mermaid sea would be more blue.
No, I see that. Like when you think of like the mermaid, like things like the.
Scales?
Yeah.
Just keep on rubbing yourself. Yeah.
That's giving like Ariel
I guess so.
scales. I was gonna say skills.
Scales?
That's giving Ariel skills.
Honestly.
Oh my God, scales!
This might be the color that I picked for Ariel to wear. So.
Sorry, Christina. she doesn't know. She doesn't know what color she's picking. So we got one wrong. It's okay. You still have 5 more chances to get one right today.
Oh, sure.
Let's see here. Okay. For everyone at home,
That's like Welch's grapefruit juice, or grape juice. Grape, purple. It's
is
grape.
it Welch's grapefruit juice purple?
I said grape like 7 more times in there. Grapefruit juice, grapefruit. Purple Prince. Oh, like Prince.
Purple rain, purple rain.
That's fair. Purple is the color of royalty. It's also the color of wisdom and magic.
So far, 2 wrong. Okay. Since we are wearing green today, I picked a green one for us. It kind of matches our color palette that we're going with.
Money green.
Ooh, money green. Is the correct answer money green? Come on, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
Luck of the Irish. Oh, I've got a great story about an Irish boy.
Is it appropriate?
No.
Did you get lucky?
What a great color.
We're still at 3 wrong. None of them right yet.
Okay, I'm gonna try really hard.
Okay. Got another.
Lavender haze.
Ooh, lavender haze. Oh, isn't that a beer?
It's a strain of weed.
Or that? I would have never guessed. So the correct color is?
Velvet curtain. That sounds interesting. Really?
Should we put it with the Irish?
Sure.
Your velvet curtain.
Got real lucky with the Irish.
All right, here is another one right here. People at home.
Baby blue.
Baby blue. It is giving, this is the color we're putting in the nursery.
Yeah.
I think when I have my child, I'm trying.
Oh my God, congrats.
Thank you.
I will not be around for that, but God bless.
I need someone to watch the child while I go out and party.
I will be out partying.
Well, you see.
Wind. Ah, yes. Paint with all the colors of the wind. Specifically just that one.
Do you know what this is? The color that Pocahontas is like behind her. Can you see with all the colors? I'd love to see a Pocahontas stage show.
Right? I feel like it's doable. If we can do Little Mermaid.
I think the only thing that's not doable is probably, the appropriation of like.
Oh, we're trying to be like kind to people? All right, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
uh-huh,
no,
yeah.
probably can't do it.
Yeah. And like
Also, a
finding someone
13-year-old.
and finding someone who's Native American.
What was that show that they tried to do in Dude?
I'm sorry, very popular. Kawana? No. Kuana? Quanah?
Yes?
Quana. At lyric, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna have to delete this because that was problematic. Here's the last color.
Chocolate brown. Did I get it? Are you gaslighting me?
You're so close.
Chocolate soul. Oh, that's my new name.
You know, when I saw this, I thought of you. That's why I picked it out. I was like, chocolate soul.
I know her.
I'm getting her on the podcast. I need to take this. These are actually all the colors I was thinking of for my room. So,
honestly, this is really pretty.
Right? The whole color palette. It's giving Mardi Gras, but like...
Yeah. But not like too rowdy so you'd be able to sleep nicely.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's dark, right?
That's cute.
Thank you. Yeah, I was hoping that would be, you know, if we did a show together, that's the color I would want.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, right? Let's see. Do you have velvet curtain?
Yep.
How about purple prince?
No.
Oh, go fish.
Go fish.
Okay. I do have one more,
Oh.
just to see. Let's see here. Which one do I? We're gonna go with this one. So I'm gonna take it back and give you a hint here. I want you to think about characters from Little Mermaid.
Okay.
And who this could represent. I know, right? It's weird. It kind of shocked me too. You're gonna be so shocked when you see it.
Atina? One of our sisters?
You went so specific.
King Triton. Why?
You think you'd be like gold, right?
Yeah.
I think because, so they're not thinking of the characters, they're probably thinking of like sea colors.
Oh.
And so since he's the king of the sea, I think.
I guess.
King Triton. Well, you were, you at least got, yeah, there were some other ones on there. You got one of them half right, so we're gonna put 1 point on the board. And with that, you get 2 more segments with me. So.
Wow, can I trade that in for another prize, or is that, like... No, I'm so grateful.
We're gonna... Well, this game was a shit show, so we're gonna go and go back to our segments. Thanks, guys. You might want to brush up on your colors.
Probably.
Yeah.
Whatever, I still get booked, it's fine.
Well, dang! You gotta come from me like. Ooh.
Right? It's refreshing.
Yeah. That's good. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like.
It's almost like there's mango and strawberry in it.
Yeah. It's like the White Claw, like from the next room. It's just barely.
Oh, no White Claw. No, thank you.
You know, girl, that one night you were drinking all the.
I didn't know that what you had was a White Claw, and I thought I almost died the next day. I can't do White Claw. I was on the toilet.
When I tell you, I thought Hope was just a partier. And now that oh, goodness. Okay, wow. This is part of our Patreon that we are adding later. It makes me laugh so much. I also have the footage of her on the toilet. You can catch it on the Patreon. Yeah, speaking of you getting booked, tell me maybe what your favorite booking has been thus far.
So I did this show years ago. It was an original show called Sharing the Stage is Murder. And it's 4 different shows happening all on one stage. The actors don't know that they're actors. So there's like 1970s hippie show happening, a 1920s gangster show, and then like a Victorian show, and then like a random Western that you only see one character for. So it's the same actors playing different characters in each of these decades. So I had a butler changing into like a 3-piece butler suit with gloves, changing into like a bright red 1920s gangster look. in like 15 seconds. It was Robbie San Juan. He was fabulous. It was amazing. We got to like the end of Tech Week, and the like playwright owned the theater. So she'd been like sitting in tech and looking at it, and she comes up to me afterwards. She's like, "Wow, these costumes are like so amazing. I just thought that they would like change a shirt or something." I'm like, "You ain't tell me that from the beginning." I'm out here making full suits that are connected that you just do one zip like it's a jumper, and like getting these women out of these big gowns into these like beaded 1920s dresses. It was so much fun, and I had to figure out some theater magic for it. But it would have been nice if I knew that she was like, "We'll just do pieces." But whatever. It was
That's
cool.
impressive, though. Theater magic is fun. Do you enjoy, like, what's your favorite costume theater magic that you've seen maybe in a show? Like we all love the Elsa reveal, right, in Frozen. We all love the, what is that? Oh my gosh, the guy that plays like 26 characters. The Dice Quith family.
Is it Sharon? Or not Sharon?
No,
Something
Murder.
about murder.
Yeah.
The Gentleman's Guide?
The Gentleman's Guide. We all love, him changing and turning things inside out and stuff like that. Is there maybe a theater magic moment that you really, really enjoyed?
So, at the end of Memphis the musical, there's this moment where I think the main character's name is Felicia. Rachel Poole played her. This is the first time I met Rachel. She comes on at the end and she's having this like really heartfelt love match talk, and then all of a sudden her suit changes into like this beautiful dress that she's wearing to like do the big performance in, and it's like someone reaching through the whole kind of like a Elsa where they just like snatch like her jacket and then it all pulls. That was the first time that I had ever made a theater magic dress, and so I did it kind of the same way where she was in a suit, but then we didn't have a way for someone to pull it, so she had to pull it herself, where she like pulled from the snaps and then underneath was this beaded dress. It's still on my Instagram somewhere. So like I saw that, like the bootleg version of it like on Broadway, and I was like, oh, I have to do that at some point. And then of course the Cinderella dress.
Oh, that's always
Just stunning.
My favorite that I still get teary-eyed when I think about it, because it takes the whole team, lighting, everything, is in Dreamgirls when Effie White is auditioning, and then the lights go dark and it's just a spotlight on her face, and then lights come up and she's wearing a completely different...
Yeah, for I'm Changing.
Yes!
We did that as well. So when I did Dreamgirls a couple years ago, we had her in like a... What's it called? It was like a big tunic thing that she then pulled from the side, and then she had like a glittery number on underneath.
I love doing
moments like that.
It's just, it makes it, I would say. Yeah.
It's just like an extra.
Yeah, well, and Dreamgirls has, like, the original production had so many, because even when, like, the girls are walking through that beaded overlay, right, and then their dresses change as they're walking through.
Yeah.
That was another one that, like, oh.
Dreamgirls has so many costumes, and, like, it's beautiful, but it's also so much work and so much money. Like, and the fact that they say it in the show, they're like, we're going to get you beautiful new gowns and new wigs. And as a designer, you're like, hey, maybe we just get some jewelry. Like, why?
Beautiful gowns.
Like, why do we have to keep saying that they're changing? It's a lot of work, because that's also like 15 seconds they go around the stage, and then suddenly they're in brand new gowns.
Yeah, no. Okay, so I want to take a step back and talk about your process just a little bit as a designer. Give us like a world, or a look into the world of a designer, of a costume designer. Just in working with you, I've seen that you really do think this through, right? It's not like, I hate to say this, but like some people phone it in, right? And not just on costume design, but like in other realms of design or anything, right? They think they can just come in and do it, but you actually take the prep work behind it to really think into it. So tell me a little bit of like day one and where you go from there.
Yeah, my process is a lot like you would for like a single actor or a director, and that I get to know the characters. So, first I do the read through, and then I'll set up a costume plot to say, this page, this scene, setting, if it's musical, what songs are in it, who's in each scene, and if there's any special notes, like them saying they need beautiful gowns if she wears a red dress, just to get all of that like kind of boring information just out of the way. And then I'll go back in and look at each character individually, like who are they as a person? And then something that I really like to do is color theory. So different colors, they mean different emotions. So like if you look at the cereal aisle when you're in Walmart, you're gonna see a lot of orange because orange is a color that makes you excited and it makes you hungry. So all colors have different meanings. So like we're wearing green, it's renewal, it's wealth.
Wealth.
So we're starting over and we're getting money.
Wealth.
Her. So I'll assign colors to the actor or to the character and get to know the character. I'll see what's period appropriate, just all the different things, and I'll start gathering images to then present to the director to make sure that we're all on the same page. We'll go back and forth, I'll do some sketches, get a final idea of what we want to see on stage. And then at that point, actors come in, and then I may take all of that and throw it out the window, because at the end of the day, it's the actor who's up on stage wearing the clothing. So if I have the idea that, this character is sassy, wearing booty shorts and crop tops, and I have an actor come in and be like, I'm super uncomfortable doing that, I'm like, sweet. So instead they are in a fierce cape, and we're gonna change it up, and we're gonna make it so that what the actor is comfortable with and who the character is really meld together. And then I get to do the fun stuff of going shopping and doing the fittings and having those conversations until we finally get to Tech Week and we all cry, but then it gets on stage.
No, I feel that I was laughing at what you were just saying because I did Rocky Horror.
Oh, I love Rocky.
Which, like, everything is supposed to be, like, sexy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was not. I'm very much more comfortable with my body now than I was then. And Michael Robinson was our love the Michaels, right?
Yeah.
Michael Robinson was our costume designer, and he was like, okay, we're gonna put you in this tight little vest, and that's it. And I was like, is there anything going on the vest, over the vest? He's like, we will. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like I could tell in his look, because he was like, it's gonna look great, and I was like, So yeah, so definitely, right? I know that you probably had this original idea, and then I'm standing there before you like, but
Yeah.
but what if?
And then I'll be like, tell me about it.
Yeah, no.
Let's see.
So no, definitely appreciative of that. Now, in your process, one thing that I really, really like, yes, you talked about this as well, when we've done kids shows together is what we've done, or youth shows, excuse me. And you are really, really good at color palette, like you said. I loved when you make sure that, like, even in scenes, there's a consistent color palette or across the costumes as well. Specifically when we did James and the Giant Peach Jr., like you made sure that it was all like toned down, like that dark feeling, that gray feeling, which was so, like, I remember the kids coming out and like it made such a difference with every single scene, and to the point that like even patterns, you were taking like a close eye at patterns as well. And I was like, dang, she's really good. We also do this really cool thing with our youth show where we do a costume parade.
I love costume parades.
Yeah, Cindy has done that ever since I started working with her. And like the kids will, by scene, come out and like we have them line up and show what they're wearing. And every time we've worked with you, it's just Cindy and I are next to each other like, yes, do you see that? You know, and the kids may not even be buttoned correctly, you know, but...
Oh, that's my favorite part about working with kids. Because you're like, how did you get into that piece of clothing? And that way, how did you tuck your entire jacket?
Yes! That one kid, his whole jacket was just tucked into his pants. Like, it was the stretchy pants and had just put his whole jacket into his pants. And we were like...
He came out on stage, I was like, I'm just impressed. How? Wow.
You know, the whole block of cheese, I'm not even mad.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. No. So that... I think that that's something that we really appreciate, that you just have the eye for it. And I think that's definitely what it takes. Speaking of having the eye for it and what people can wear, I'm a little nervous. We asked Hope to pull some things today for me to wear since she has the eye for it, right? So hopefully I look great. But we're going to take a small...
funny.
Well, dang. We're going to take a small little break and go to our second fun segment with Hope as she tries to costume me. See you in a bit.
All right, so I put all of my years of training to use, and I've picked out a couple of looks for Daniel. So we are going to bring him on. Come. So I asked Daniel what his favorite candy was, and he said Snickers. So we've got a beautiful queen named Snickers.
Snickers.
Give us a little walk. Yes. To show off the delicious nougaty center, we have this gold sequin dress, and then over it we've got a duster that's got this beautiful golden fur feather trim, and then on top for the chocolate we have a lovely pleated hat and a chocolatey brown fur coat. Yum.
Okay, this is a great look. I don't know if it's a look I would wear out.
Why?
Do you know what I would? Yeah, I'm gonna take this home just in case, but we're gonna try the next look. We'll be right back. Ah!
All right, and next up, we're getting to our Texas roots here. Come on out, Daniel. I would like to introduce you to Queso the Cowboy, another favorite treat of Daniel. Let's give us a little walk. Yes.
All right, what am I wearing?
So on top we've got a classic cowboy hat. We've got this fun kind of 70s inspired with this big lapel burnt orange jacket. And then of course classic cowboy, we've got some plaid underneath and some tans and browns. We've got some brown slacks, and then to top it all off, we've got these lovely brown boots with this embroidery on the side. Little leg. Yes.
Yeah, no, is this like the rotel? Is this the tomatoes of
That's the best part, yeah. We didn't have
or
anything
is
like
this
the
the
green
spicy?
chilies.
I was gonna say, is this the spicy chorizo? Chorizo.
That sounds so good.
Right, we might have to get queso after this. Yeah, I could see me wearing this one out to the club, maybe when I lived in College Station.
No, we've got a roundup in this.
Roundup in this, can you imagine? No, okay, so Hope obviously knows what she's doing. Obviously. So we're gonna get back to our talking segment. See you in a bit.
Hi.
Snickers. We're not even we're just gonna keep going. So anyway, speaking of worst decisions ever made, because that's how I feel about that. Let's talk about maybe you have a little story about Susical.
Yes, so I did Susical Junior last year. I do a lot of youth shows. That's kind of my favorite part. And I had one sweet baby who was one of our Who's come up to me about 30 minutes before the show. And she goes, "Miss Hope, do you have another shirt?" I said, "No, what happened?" She goes, "I dropped it in the toilet and the sink." And in my mind, I'm like, how? But also, I have a good 30 minutes, so sure. So okay, just hand it to me. And it wasn't like super wet. Like it truly was like she had like dipped it here and dipped it there, and like their sinks are automatic and kind of like strong. So I understand how it happened, but still, wow. So I had to take it upstairs to their laundry room where I had to like disinfect it because I didn't have time for like a full wash, and then threw it in the dryer. And like a couple minutes before she was supposed to go on for like her first song, I was able to like run it back to her, and she put it on. She's like, "Thanks," and just like ran off. Love kids. Yeah.
And that's when we learned.
What did we learn from that?
Don't take your costume into the toilet.
Sure.
I mean that's still not as bad as probably your worst interview, which makes me laugh too. I love this story so much because I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get to the punchline yet. I'll wait until you tell.
Okay, so here's the thing. My favorite show is Big Fish. I've done the grander version. I'd love to do the 12 Chairs version at some point. But this was the first time that I ever had to interview for a show. And really the only time that I've like put myself out there to be interviewed for a show. So probably why I haven't done it again. So I went and I met with the director, and I had some sketches that I was going to show him. And, you know, it was going well. We were chit-chatting about the show and about the designs. And then he was like, so what does, like, the show mean to you? And so if you don't know, Big Fish is, you know, father-son relationship. And, like, I love my dad. I'm such a daddy's girl. You know, we've had our ups and downs, but, like, I love him. I'm not going to cry this time. So I was talking to the director about how I relate to it with, like, my own relationship with my father. And then I started crying, like, not a cute cry. And so he just, like, kind of handed me a tissue. And, like, I kind of got it back together. And, like, I felt really good about it. I was like, oh, wow, like, that was such a good conversation. I didn't get the job.
There's the punchline. Still did not get it.
Which is fair, because I would also be like, wow, she's a lot.
They just imagined all the costumes soaked with tears. As you're sewing, just... yeah, all the sew lines are just all over the place.
Yep. So I didn't get that one, but it's okay. I ended up doing the show later.
There you go, yeah. You got to do it again.
I have to do it. No
you
tears
not
this
to
time.
cry, yeah. I mean, now I know. I just need to look at you and say, Big Fish.
Shut up.
The tears just start immediately
Just
flowing.
single tear.
Well, I felt like that was probably one of your dream shows, but I know your big dream show is Chicago.
Yes.
That's so many costumes, though. And I think because it's like a show within a show at the same time, right? And you have all of those options for all of the and the murderesses, everything. I think that would be really fun. Has it been done in the area recently?
No, it's been years. I think Main Stage Irving was the last to do it. And it's just a really expensive show. Just getting the rights for it is ridiculous, which is why nobody does it. And then I think it's still on Broadway or it's touring.
No, it's still on Broadway because Jinx just completed, I think.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not releasing those rights anytime soon. I think Theater Arlington tried to do it, and then they had to switch it out.
Yeah, because it was COVID, I think, when they were supposed to do it, and then I remember when we had to remove it. Yeah.
So I would love to do it, though. Plus, you know, it has all the sparkles, and you know I love sparkles.
You do love sparkles. We'll talk about sparkles again later. Now, something that I want to dig into just a little bit more. We touched on it in the last segment, but I do want to talk about the constant changes that, you know, are coming up. Not only that we see, right, I've talked about it with multiple of my guests at this point, where trans, non-binary, any type of people, right, that don't fit into a category, being cast in shows. How's that been routed on the costume side?
Yeah, I think something that's really interesting, I was talking with a director friend about this, is because we're in theater and because we're in the arts, we're in the forefront a lot of those things. So we are at the beginning of navigating what that looks like and how to have those conversations. So we're not always going to get it right. We're going to try because this is a safe space, but we're not always going to get it right. And so that's something I've had to learn as I've like gone through my career. And I would say it's not something I've learned from other costumers. It's something I've learned from actors. So there's been some fantastic actors who have been very comfortable speaking out and saying like, oh, I'm not really comfortable with this, or hey, what if we did that? And then me being able to not put my ego into it and to be able to say, yeah, let's have a conversation about that. And so from learning from actors who have been brave enough to speak out and to say what they need and to be able to self-advocate, I've taken that to, well, why don't we just start with that? So whenever I'll start a new show, if I get the chance to speak to the cast as, you know, a whole, or if I'm just doing it individually while I'm taking measurements, I always give like a little speech of, you are the one that is ultimately on stage, you are one wearing the costume, and as much research as I've done, you know the character better than anybody. So if there is a point where you're not comfortable, please communicate with me. While I'm taking their measurements and asking their sizes, I also ask, what's your fit preference? Do you like things more fitted, a little bit looser? What's going to make you feel comfortable and be able to dive into the work as much as possible? Or I'll ask, you know, are you comfortable in heels? Are you comfortable in skirts, in dresses? How do you feel about corsets? How do you feel about all different kinds of things? So I get to know you. So we have like a really solid foundation. So when we get into fittings, you already know that I care. Like I genuinely care that you are happy on stage, that you are comfortable on stage, that like you're ready to strut your stuff. I think one of my favorite things is whenever I'm at Jubilee, we have a saying of where does this live? So anytime they like a costume piece, they'll come out of their fitting and go, where does this live? And so if I can get one of those, that's like top notch. Or if I'm working with teenagers, because they don't like to give adults any kind of compliment. If they're like, oh, this is actually pretty cute, then I'm like, like one.
Yeah, I know one of my students, Maxton, he put on, I think this was for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and he was like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Especially like, teenage boys are generally a little bit more like, oh, yeah, no, it's whatever, it's cool. But when I have one that comes out and they're like, Miss Hope, I actually really like this. I'm like,
yeah, do you know, it was for both of his costumes. I forgot it was also for James, because he had those pants that he was like, and the hat and everything, where it was just like, he was like, oh yeah. And I remember even telling him, like, we should see about like purchasing like the costume. Because it was like, because he is his style is like that old classic. And so it was like, you should maybe check into that. Like I saw him at the Buckley's and I was like, is that your mom's jacket? Because it's very much so like, it was not, but it's like just that style where it looks like that type of cut, and I was like, yes, child.
Love that.
But yeah, no, you do know how to costume, and that's one thing that I will say that you did really, really well with the shows that we worked with the youth, because you not only we did have, children who identified as non-binary, but it was not only that, it was also cultural with one of our students as well, one of the youth that was there, that she was not allowed to wear dresses. And you were able to put them in pants, and you identified it right away, and it didn't have to turn into a problem for them. Right? Where it was like, oh, I'm nervous about having to tell the costumer. You put it out there from day one, and they felt comfortable enough to come up to you and say, oh, actually, can I wear pants? And they were adorable. Every single, I remember, I'm not going to say their name for their own, but the cutest little child we had ever had on that stage, just because everything they wore. But yeah, I like that, and I think you said you call it self-advocacy, right? That we need to be partners in that with the costume designer at the same time, and make sure that we are speaking up for ourselves, but in a healthy way, right? And in the right way where it's like, hey, I'm not really comfortable in that. And so I think I want to stress that with all of, the actors out there in DFW, it's okay to have these conversations with your costume designer if you're not comfortable with something, or if you identify, and especially with like Dom recently, I was talking with Dom, where, Dom would like to be cast, more in female playing roles.
Right.
And so that's a conversation that we need to have, that, how would we dress them appropriately, or, what's the correct fit? And I think that a costumer like you, where it's like, what are you comfortable in? And it's okay to have those questions, or, and have those conversations and back to our conversation, I have seen at some of our larger theaters here in DFW where it's hard to costume for people of color. It's hard to wig for people of color, and the wigs just ain't right. And it's problematic.
Yeah.
And I think because we're not putting people of color behind the table to identify that, and it's becoming noticeable, and I hope that we say something about it, and I hope that we are helping change that. Yeah.
I had one of my kiddos over at the school that I work at a few years ago. I'm the only customer she's known other than one other lady. And we were just having fittings one day, and she turns to me, she goes, Miss Hope, I'm so glad you're here, because they didn't know what to do with my hair. I'm like, and that's why I do it. Like, that's why I love working with youth, because if I can have those conversations now, then they can carry that on, and we're starting a new generation of people who are comfortable speaking out for themselves.
Yeah, no, like I said, some of these larger theaters just are relying on who they've had and who's there, and it just does not work. So we need to have these conversations. We need to put people like Hope behind the table. We need to make sure that we're involved in those conversations.
Yeah.
So you have a couple projects that have just finished. I know you came off of Chicken and Biscuits at Theater Arlington. And then I'm not sure when this is going to be specifically released, but you're about to open, or you have already opened,
Little Mermaid over at Dallas Theater Center.
And what's your title there?
Costume designer.
You are full costume designer?
Full costume designer with a lovely, fabulous team of people that I love and trust. So
that is so exciting for you.
Yeah.
That's
This is a
big.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and then here's the other thing that I'm nervous. I know you're gonna kill it because you can do it, but that's that community production. So do you have to also costume the community people?
Yeah, which is like a little over 100 people.
Yeah. So I mean, not only are you having to deal with, your main cast, but 100 people as well on that stage. And with a show like The Little Mermaid.
This will be my 3rd time doing The Little Mermaid.
I mean, just in Under the Sea, all the different types of I went to go judge a version of Little Mermaid, and those costumes they made me laugh. So no, like in a good way, like
you can get goofy silly with them.
And that's what I loved about it. Like the guys were like these cute little like jellyfish things that came out, and it was just everything. The seagulls were good. I forget the costumes because I talked with the director after, and she was like, "We put this all together, and like it's difficult.
It's a lot of work."
Yeah, but I mean, you've got an amazing cast. I mean, freaking Liz Michael.
Wait until you see the wig that she is wearing.
Stop.
It
is it giving?
Everything. I saw like just a proof of it and started crying. Like
You did not.
It's so beautiful.
Oh, I love
it's
it.
wild. It's gonna steal the show, and then I'm gonna steal it.
Shout
out to Nick. He did a fabulous job with it.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely gonna go see it. I wanted to be a part. I was gonna try out for the community auditions. Couldn't fit into my schedule, but I know, right? Can you imagine? Would have loved to.
We had so much fun.
Right? Well, and I mean with Mark in it.
Yeah.
I just know he's gonna be a blast. And then isn't it Zachary playing? Sebastian.
Fabulous Sebastian.
So it's just going to be a blast. Any other projects that you can announce for us at this time, or anything that you have coming up since we're in July?
I'm taking a little bit of a break in August,
Okay.
and then I've forgotten all the things that I've signed up for in the fall. But I do have stuff in the fall.
So be watching out, and you can watch Hope on her Instagram. You can find out what she's doing. What's your Instagram handle if you want to share that?
My Instagram handle is Hope D as in Denise Cox. But if you want to see like what I've got coming up, then go to my website, hopecox.com.
She's got her own website, y'all. She's got her own website. Her mom probably put it together.
No, it was during the pandemic. I had nothing else to do.
Oh, well, there's that too. Goodness gracious. No, I love it. Yeah, I'm so excited to see all the costumes in Little Mermaid. I know you're going to be fabulous. I'm so excited to see your fall projects. I think you're going to be so great in everything. You are great in everything you do. I'm ready to see you on stage. Should I be sitting on your lap right now, Drew Barrymore style? I'm everything.
Oh my God.
Everything. I know. But thank you so much, Hope, for being here today. I appreciate it. Yes. We had a fabulous time. Don't forget, guys, that you can watch this episode. If you're not already, you probably are, hopefully, on YouTube, or listen anywhere you get your streaming podcasts, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever else we put it. Anywhere, honestly. And also, don't forget all of our socials at Daniel Does DFW. Thank you for joining us today. Thanks again to Hope Cox, and we'll see you next time. Hang on to those teacups. Gonna get down, get loud. No, child. Don't play around and throw much ground. Every day to play away and get her out of my mind. Ow. Think about the girl all the time. Ow, ow. All right. Well, fuck.
Well,
shit.
Literally. Well, shit. Leslie.
What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Screwing?
Okay, so this is a hat. So the show has already happened, and this hat was displayed perfectly on Denise Lee's head.
yeah.
Right, for chicken and biscuit. But today Hope has brought it in.
There's multiple biscuits. Just one chicken, multiple biscuits.
Biscuits. So, multiple biscuits. That's how I will remember it from now on out. I will never forget chicken and biscuits again. I mean, I feel like when I eat chicken and biscuit, like it's one biscuit.
Multiple chickens.
No, like the biscuit is opened up. You know, like biscuits and gravy. Is it biscuit and gravy or biscuits and gravy? I'm going to stop this conversation because we need to get back to
The
this.
show is biscuits and gravy.
There's a show?
Yeah. Oh, it's new. Like,
Okay.
I think the regional premiere was at Jubilee. Like,
Oh,
months
that's
ago.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yup.
The reverb in this thing cracks me up.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
It's just the hat.
The sorting hat. That's what it's giving right now. So, with costume design, there's a lot of stoning that happens. So Hope is going to teach me how to stone today, and hopefully I don't ruin this.
You can't. It's just making sparkly things. I'm a very messy stoner. So I'll just use my little glue, put it on like a random palette, and then dip my stone in it, just like the little edge of it. And this stuff is super powerful. It's called E6000. And you just set it on there.
We couldn't use E2000.
No, we gotta go full throttle, man. So if you don't mind getting a little messy,
Okay, yeah.
just pick one up,
Okay,
scoop like a little corner of it,
okay. And just anywhere.
and
There's no
anywhere.
design.
Any place you see like a little spot that doesn't have a stone, have at it.
Oh, that's the stone that's gonna fall off, Denise.
And I promise you cannot mess it up.
So it cracks
Unless
me.
you like put a word in there or something. You just like stone.
Have you ever done that before?
No, but I should. I have not been using my power fully.
Like I would say from like far away, right? Like,
You probably couldn't tell, but up close you would know.
yeah. I mean, there's so much E6. Does it come off clear? Like, does it dry clear?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, Denise. I should probably be doing the back of the head. But no, I hear about stoning parties all the time.
Yeah.
I know you attend stoner parties. But I hear about specifically in the drag queen community,
Yes.
right? Where they're like, hey, let's all have a party together. Like, I'll buy pizza. I have to stone my gown.
Yeah.
And so, like, can we please, help me stone it all together? And they literally all just come together and we'll stone it,
Mhm.
So is this, how stoned are you thinking this is going to get?
Just enough to catch light. So like, probably like twice as much as this.
Twice as much?
Yeah, so like I did like a base layer with smaller stones, and now we're going in with like the bigger ones.
Oh, I didn't even realize we were at a different size.
Yep.
Interesting. No, that's so cool. So, how long would you say a stoning project takes you?
I've gotten really fast, so I would say all of this that's already on there probably took like an hour and a half.
Okay.
And there's like 1,000 stones on there. So I've gotten fast because I'm constantly adding stones to things.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't take too long.
This is the tedious work behind.
Yeah, you just put on a podcast and you put the stones places, and then every once in a while you pull it back and you see how much you've done, and it's really exciting.
What are some other, like, I know that as a costume designer, you're probably also like hemming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do you ever cut material when you hem as well? Like, or do you try to keep the original product as like close to it as possible? Does that make sense?
It depends. Like,
If it's like a throwaway piece.
yeah, if it's something that I know is an investment piece for the theater, then I'll, just hem and do what I can to not cut.
Mm-hmm.
But if I know it's like, this is so specific for one show, nobody is ever going to use this again, and I need for it to like fit my actor just right, and they need like an 8-inch hem, I'm going to cut. Because we're not tucking all of that up in there.
My fingers are stuck together.
They probably are.
I'm now a stoned individual.
And I mean, it's like, it's in the perfect.
Just immediately goes to stone. All right. Well, thanks for teaching me how to stone today. I thought this would be like those little applique. Like, have you seen those ones that?
They do have those. I'd like to be more hands-on, so I'm always going to choose the messier option, honestly.
Yeah. No, I feel this is definitely the messier option.
There's also ones where it's like you just put it where you want it, and then you can iron it on because it's like heated on the back.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I've always wanted to do one of those like pictures. Have you seen like where you buy the and then you like stamp it on basically? I've always wanted to try one of those, but this is definitely much more work than that. If I ever get that, I'll let you know and we can do that together.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, we're gonna put it on our Amazon wish list. Buy it for us. Thank
Hey.
you. All right. Thanks so much, Hope.
You're welcome.